Seattleites, you probably have one of these hanging on your refrigerator. Recycling, compost, and garbage. But what does that all mean?
Recycling is waste which can be reprocessed, such as paper or cardboard.
Composting is food or yard waste that can naturally bond to air.
Garbage is all other waste which is sent to landfill.
All Seattle residents and businesses are required to recycle and compost. To make it 100% accessible, recycling is completely free in Seattle.
By composting and recycling, we can combat climate change.
Recycling means that less waste is sent to landfills. Many landfills are near marginalized communities consisting of people of color and low-income residents, contributing to environmental discrimination.
Recycling more also means that energy will be saved with less demand for new resources. Less carbon dioxide, a greenhouse gas trapping heat in the atmosphere, will be emitted. This would be beneficial since 5% of the greenhouse gases are from waste in landfills.
Speaking of greenhouse gases, compost helps reduce them. When food and yard waste is sent to landfills, it emits methane, a greenhouse gas with a warming effect 34 times that of carbon dioxide.
Composting means that the waste does not emit methane and can be used for a variety of purposes, such as soil fertilizer.
All of us can help mitigate the effects of climate change before it becomes too late.
Even though we can make massive impacts through recycling and composting, it is up to city officials to follow through with their promises.
In 2013, the City of Seattle implemented the Seattle Climate Action Plan, a 96-page document outlining hundreds of improvements the city planned to implement.
One of their goals was to enhance outreach and education about recycling and composting to residents and businesses. But how much have they followed through on their end?
According to the Seattle's 2020 Waste Prevention and Recycling Report, Seattle's yearly recycling rates, which is the percentage of recycled tons of waste compared to the total tons of waste, have increased by 14% since 2000.
This means that each year, 20% more of the waste we dispose of is recyclable.
In 2020, the city recycled around 54% of its waste, a drop from previous years. A factor the city identified for this was the COVID-19 pandemic and the increasing demand for personal protective equipment.
For the end of 2022, the city has a goal of recycling 70% of its waste.
Data trajectory showing a negative correlation in the low annual recycling rate increases. This goal does not seem feasible unless major restructuring is implemented.
While the goal is extremely optimistic, it is impossible to increase the recycling rate without implementing other actions, such as avoiding single-use plastics and educating residents and businesses about recyclable materials, targeting populations who historically have not received such resources.
For the long term, these actions will limit the amount of waste in landfills, combating climate change by reducing waste as a whole.
According to the city's website, 28% of recycled waste is processed in Seattle, 34% in Asia, and 38% in Western North America. This means 72% of recycled materials is sent out of the city. These measurements are based off of materials such as paper and cardboard.
Recycling sent to northwestern North America primarily goes to Arlington, Oregon. Seattle claims that this is a desert town, but 628 residents inhabit the area.
Shipping waste to the area impacts those living nearby, especially as it contains a high population of senior citizens who are classified as a vulnerable population of climate change's environmental impacts. They could suffer in catastrophes ranging from heat waves to wildfires. In other words, this could be your grandparents, great-grandparents, or elderly loved ones.
As for Seattle sending 34% of its recycling to Asia, this is an example of the U.S. sending its issues to other nations to bear the consequences.
Until 2017, around 75% of Seattle recycling was sent to China, but this has since stopped as China banned recycling imports in 2018. Laborers handling recycled materials in Asia are often exploited.
The burden has now been passed to Southeast Asian countries such as Malaysia, Thailand, and Vietnam, rapidly industrializing countries as a result of European colonization.
Not only does sending waste belittle people of color worldwide, it also places nearby residents in hazardous environments with toxic fumes and water contamination.
This significantly impacts marginalized communities worldwide, particularly low-income people of color.
Seattle must mend their actions, as we Seattleites can hold the city accountable through various means.
So what can you do?
Write letters to city officials asking them for accountability regarding their actions. You can contact them with this information here.
Convert to more environmental friendly options such as reusable containers or utensils. Stop using single-use plastics.
Educate yourself about where waste belongs. Once you master the skill, you can even sign up to educate students about it. You can sign up with the link here.
When in doubt, find out. The City of Seattle has a tool for residents to accurately recycle and compost. You can visit the site here. Seattleites, your contributions can help combat climate change and make the world a better place.